We're in the center of Vienna and it's a very busy Thursday evening. People are out enjoying the perfect weather, and there's St. Stephen's Cathedral.
The old city of Vienna is so beautiful. Everything's very ornate.
We find Roman ruins just outside Francis Joseph's crib and some horses going past. Pretty impressed with it all. And St. Michael's Church with very violent statues. We're on our rest day in Vienna and these water stations are vital today. My goodness, it's a very hot day. But it's beautiful on the main street, the shopping street, and we're going shopping for Wurst for lunch now. I've just got a Kaiserkreiner hot dog, which is traditional for Vienna. Very fancy cakes that all of the special chancellors and emperors used to eat, and we're eating them now. The fanciest thing that we've done so far.
We just had our most expensive cake ever.
Amazing, so good. Mousse cake and Anna torte with orange liqueur.
Very good. We're having a lovely relaxing afternoon in the
People
park,
watching.
waiting for the opera to happen and just soaking up the atmosphere of
Eavesdropping. He's eavesdropping on people unsuspectingly.
in Spanish and German.
We've just spotted some pigeons in the park and enjoying watching their shenanigans.
We're at the opera, going up to the gallery, separated from the fancy people because we're just the hoi polloi. We're really in the gods here at the Viennese opera, and right at the top, at the standing room only seats at the back. Yeah, how are you enjoying the opera?
It's misogynistic and I don't like either of the main characters.
Oh no, that's horrid.
I'm judging it according to modern times and not according to the Spanish Civil War, but I think there was a lot of machismo back then and it's made even worse by the passage of time.
Gail?
Like Carmen.
Gail has a thing for height, and this this subway escalator is a little bit too long and too high for Gail. Catching the number one home from the opera. We're heading from Vienna off to the park run this morning.
Day 43 and Athel's adding extra 5k run for who knows what reason.
Cycling through the streets of Vienna is really great. Makes me think of New York. It's a great international city. Riding into central Vienna on a brand new cycle street. Traffic and bicycles, but bicycles have priority. It's really, really great. It's an early Saturday morning, so hardly anyone out. Beautiful.
Alright, so we literally skidded into the parkrun area 5 minutes before the race and the whistle is blown. Everyone's about to go and stand there at the front line. What are you thinking?
I'm doing my triathlon today.
Go Athel. Go! Off goes Ethel for the second part of his triathlon today, the 5K run. There he is, he's come around the corner. He's onto his next lap of the park run. Go, love! There he is. Second time round. Oh, he looks hot. I might be piggybacking him to Bratislava today. Here he is, he's finishing. You want some water? Finishing his Vienna park run. Very good. That's good.
This is the city baths on the river.
My favorite kind of river view. From swans to dragons. We found an island on the Danube and Ethel's going for a well-deserved swim after his park run. I was invited, but I don't know, it may not be warm enough for me.
So this is the barbecue zone along the Danube, and everyone's here doing the barbecues. We've seen 3 pig roasts on the spit. It's the thing to do on a nice warm Saturday morning.
Well, we survived the nudist colony and now we've come across a sign for the national park. Naturschutz. But we also know that the Donauaue National Park is where the beavers are. So we're actually going to go off our EV6 and go into the national park to look for beavers. We're on the levees at the moment. We're about 40 k's out of Bratislava, and all the farming areas here are getting our potatoes ready for Brynzovi haluski, which is goat's cheese dumplings.
We're cycling along this long straight levee that's through the forests along the Danube. We don't see the Danube at all. It's just straight and long and hot and sunny. There's a massive castle on the hill as we're coming into Slovakia. We're soon arriving at the Slovak border and enjoying this last bit of the Danube in Austria.
Ethel's pointing the way to Bratislava, 10 k's away. We're getting there.
There's Bratislava on the horizon. That's our destination. Little, just 10 k's to go. This is the old border post for going into Czechoslovakia, but since it's all part of the same EU, no border anymore. And there's the city on the horizon and a massive storm bearing down on us, but a while before that comes. Hopefully we'll get a swim before then. There you can see the old Soviet border protection stuff. We're familiar with the entry into Bratislava on the bikeway because in 2019 we cycled this bit out towards Hungary, and so it's nice that we've closed the loop by now coming in from Austria. Cycling over the Danube into Bratislava.
Nearly there. So that's another way of cycling around Europe that you can do in Bratislava if you want. Those guys are happy even in the pouring rain. We're celebrating in Bratislava. Ethel's having deer goulash, which is rather exciting. And I'm with my favorite meal in Bratislava, which is Brynzovi haluski, goat's cheese dumplings.
It's a little bit wet today, and it would be good to have our own umbrella because we can't rely on these all day.
In Old Town Bratislava. Old Town Bratislava. Ah, where's Ethel gone? There he is. The main squares. The main man in the main squares. St. Michael's Gate. This is a site we remember very well from when we were here with the girls. This is a real mix of the old and the new. And then you come around the corner and there's a spaceship and the old church.
After looking at the old city, we've gone up to the top of the castle and looking over the more modern part of the city out to the coast, I believe, or to the mountains, I don't know, where there's so many electrical power windmills.
Exploring Bratislava, which is the Slovakian word for castle, and the beautiful gardens. This castle is actually from the 1900s, but we're not sure what happened to the original. Well, we are hiding away from the rain because every single rest day that we have is perfectly timed for rain, which we don't mind, because if it rains on a rest day and doesn't rain on a cycling day, we are happy campers.
And the nice thing is that as we are resting in here, an American tourist had a personal guide to give a whole history of the place, which we could eavesdrop on.
A quick update on the castle. So we discovered it was actually built in the 1700s, and it survived Napoleon, it survived all different invasions. From the Turks, Ottoman Empire, and the reason it burnt down was drunken Italians in the barn smoking. So that's a bit of an interesting history to the castle. And then this one was rebuilt in the 1950s, and then in the early 2000s someone found the original plans for the castle in an archive and sent it to the Slovakian government, and they rebuilt the castle to be in the original plans. So the rain is fairly entrenched now, and we're on our way back to have some hot chocolate at our apartment.
We've just dropped our bikes off at Milano.
Yeah, and she's a lovely Slovakian lady who lives on the top of the hill, so we cycled here this morning, and now we're off to catch the train to Budapest. We'll be back in 2 days, but look at the views of the city.
It's lovely. Our train to Budapest has been a little bit delayed, and the information on what platform it was going to be at was not there. And we almost got onto the train going the wrong way.
Back to Czech Republic. But here it comes now.
Here it comes into the station.
And hopefully we have a seat. Oh, that's the wrong side. Turns out that Hungary is actually a very flat country, seen from the train. Very glad not to be cycling across it, even though it is flat, because it's pretty far to Budapest. And we've arrived in Budapest. It's a little bit of a breezy afternoon.
40 years ago, I came through Budapest on a Drakensberg Boys Choir School tour, and we went past this church, the Citadel here in Budapest in 1985, and our tour guide said that the inscription above the door, which reads "I'm the way, the truth and the life"
In Latin,
he said that had been said by a king, one of the rulers of the Hungarians, and that's why it was written there. And at that time, this wasn't a church, it was a city hall.
Because of communism.
Yeah.
And this was a parking lot where we're standing with thousands of people at the moment.
It's quite a change.
Well, we are looking out on the funicular. We're halfway up the hill towards the Buda Castle area. And these are the lazy people taking the easy option. But we're happy to be walking, and the views are great. It's really interesting being up here where there's so much of a focus on renovating and rebuilding. I'd say about half of the buildings here are busy being redone in their original style, because they were rebuilt by the communists after World War II, but in a very simplified way.
We're in the top of Castle Hill in Budapest. And
exploring St. Matthias Church, which is shiny and bright and beautiful.
And very beautiful. The roofs are so stunning. There's been lots of restoration work that's happened up here, and there's also still lots more to go.
The scale of all of the monuments and the churches and the cathedrals and the buildings being restored. You can just walk 4 kilometers here and just keep seeing things that are being done around the place. This one looks like a sandcastle at the beach. We're at the Fisherman's Bastion, and this is where all the tourists hang out in Budapest. We're reconstructing history, folks, and lots of cranes doing their work at the moment in the centre here on Castle Hill. We're looking out to Gellert Hill for future sunrise views, but amazing being on top of the castle complex all afternoon, and incredible views over the rest of Budapest as well. So this is quite a city.
Here's a funny statue outside a cinema. You think it's a guy getting happy with a lady, but no.
We are on our way walking across Andrassy Street to get to the baths this morning, and this is just quite a lovely fancy part of town.
We're in the thermal pools,
which we can't pronounce, but I think it's Senyi
in Budapest, and it's lovely in here.
Incredible, just the right thing for early in the morning.
Yeah. Although it's sunny, the air is cool, so the warm pool makes for a very nice
Good
place
for the
to be.
muscles. There's a hot air balloon over the hot water of Selznia.
We've had a lovely time soaking in the pools.
So good.
And now we're going to go see the historic Soviet era statues that have all been removed. Catching the tram through Budapest. We are in Memento Park, learning about the Soviet symbolism in their statues. All of these statues around here were displayed around Hungary and have been placed in this park to really ensure that there's not a forgetting of the dangers of dictatorship.
Dramatic scenes at the Memento Park.
We're at the end of the statue park, and these statues are quite amazing, but what's more amazing is the stories that come behind them and the significance of the sacrifice and the horrors of the dictatorship. But it's still beautiful looking.
We're crossing the bridge. We can see the Buda Castle area and the magnificent city offices.
Not sure what this is, but it's some sort of protest. Lots of cops around. Some of them with riot gear further out. And this is the view from out our window in our apartment here in Budapest.